Now boarding for Rebuild of JoyCast, your weekly destination for anime, manga, and more.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of JoyCast. It's me and Ivan, again, as always. I mean, who else would be? I mean, sometimes Tina and Freddie are here, but, you know, it's always us two. Only really a quick episode today, I would say. Is that right, Ivan? We got
a quickie, because like I said, the triumvirate is still off. Basically, we traded Chainsaw Man for My Hero Academia this week. Otherwise, I mean, there's no big anime, or I shouldn't say big, I mean, the spring anime season's coming, but there hasn't really been like any huge news, anything big to talk about. But on the personal front, we've got some things coming out, like on the JoyRide end, another episode of these. Basically, the week you guys are hearing this, another episode of These Backwards Echoes is going to be coming out on the JoyRide channel and our podcast platform. So stay tuned for that. That's very exciting. On top of that, something we promised back in January that we're finally showing is our limited edition t-shirts. We're doing one celebrating These Backwards Echoes. And that will be available the same time the episode comes out this Friday. And it will be available from April 1st through
It's today,
the end of
not
May,
Friday?
so May 31st.
Do you mean next Friday?
Next Friday. Well, I mean, when people
you're speaking from the
future.
Yeah, well,
because this episode will be
is going to go up
listened to on the
Monday.
27th.
Yeah, you're absolutely
And These Backwards
right.
Echoes will come out on the 31st of March.
Of course. I always forget that aspect, yeah.
And so then we'll soft release the t-shirt, even though its actual availability will be April 1st through May 31st. Mm-hmm. So it'll be a 2-month limited opening, and then we will hide the t-shirts, and you won't be able to get them. They're limited edition. So that's how we're doing these t-shirts now, and it's very exciting. The links to that will always be available. Any video, even these podcasts, we always have a link to our Teespring store, so you can just look them up there. And if not, even on our YouTube videos, we have our Teespring. We have a Teespring tab on most videos. If you have ad block, I don't think you can see it. But if you're going vanilla like everyone else, you should see like a list of our merch, because we have the JoyRider shirt, the dope President Scott shirt, you know. We'll be adding a These Backwards Echoes shirt, and so that's really exciting. So that will be with the release of the second episode, which is also a great episode. Stina has just been killing it with this series. We're real excited. But Val, something you've been a part of for a very long time that's just been in the works is finally coming out.
Yes,
in a couple days from the time of this recording.
Yes, that's right. Finally, after 3 years of solid production and amazing work from so many artists, compositors, voice actors, sound engineers, just all kinds. Lackadaisy Cats, the animated short film, is coming out on the 29th of this month. And obviously, I'm very excited for that. Do I have like a massive part in it? Kind of, actually. I actually voice a kind of main character in it called Dorian Zibowski. From the quite well-renowned webcomic Lackadaisy Cats. So please do go check this out on the 29th. You can go see it on Tracy Butler's channel or Lackadaisy Cats. I'm sure if you just type it in, you will be able to find it. It's super exciting to see it finally come to fruition, and I actually had the pleasure of seeing a personal screening of it for casting crew members as it is now. So
you went to the private screening. I heard it from you, and I follow a lot of people who are on this production, and they're all raving about it. They're like, yeah, I mean, like, there's a bias because you're in it, but they're like, this is a step up for indie animation, and that's incredible.
It really is. It's gonna be.
I'm glad it all
great.
worked out. It's because these things go on for so long. You're like, are they actually gonna do it? How's it actually gonna be when it finally comes out? And it finally comes out, and no, I've heard nothing but great things. I cannot wait to see this premiere. It's going to be on YouTube. It'll be premiering Wednesday, the 29th of March.
The other thing as well is that indie animation, it's like, you know, for a lot of people, it can be nerve-wracking, honestly, just like putting a project out there, like with full animation teams and everything.
It rarely works out. Works out.
But this is one of those cases where I genuinely believe this is gonna do fantastic, to be honest.
It feels special. It's always felt special. It always felt like it really had a lot of potential.
It does.
And now
I
that
would,
it's finally coming out and you're seeing it at the level that it is, it's like, wow, this is
I would-
really going to be fucking spectacular.
I would really highly recommend people go out and check out the webcomic as well, because it is one of the most high quality webcomics I have ever seen. I have been reading Lackadaisy Cats since I was in high school, about year 9 at least. So we're talking like about 2009, maybe 2008-ish or something. And Tracy is at heart, like she makes a comic, but she is an illustrator. She is like, you know, does so many, like each panel when you read it is just dripping with personality and honestly just stunning beauty. It is amazing. One of the absolute best comics I've ever read. Fantastic writer as well. I would really recommend, before the film comes out, check out the webcomic. It's a bloody ride. Just go do that. It's going to be sick. And we've got a solid cast as well. I was so freaking hyped to hear everyone in that film finally. It was so good, Ivan. I had my heart in my mouth at certain bits. Like, it's intense, it's funny, it's cool, it's the whole fucking package. And like, Ivan can vouch for me, I am highly critical of anything that I am in. I'm critical of things that you write, I'm critical of anything really, especially stuff, I'm especially critical of myself. So like, I swear to God, this is the shit, and I am so proud to be a part of this project. Please check it out, please support it.
It's really cool. So on the other side of things, I mean, back to business as usual and how we just kind of approach this show.
Oh yeah.
I think maybe next week or the following week we'll finally start doing a preview of the spring anime season.
No?
Because there's some very interesting shows coming up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a not as stacked as we're used to seeing stacked, but still a pretty stacked.
What are you looking forward to exactly? Like, if anything, like what's the first thing that like comes to mind at least, if you can name something?
I'm gonna say, let me pull up the list real quick. Just at the top of my head, I mean, there's a new season of Dr. Stone.
Oh yeah, okay. I know you're not that into the
I assume
anime.
they're gonna be doing the Treasure Island arc. There's a new season of Demon Slayer. You know, the sweeping, you know, Crunchyroll Anime Award winner. It's still good. Like all the bitching that we do, it's still good. You can't say that. Oh, they're doing a Konosuba spinoff.
What?
With the Explosion Girl.
Oh yeah, sorry. I
love
got
Konosuba.
Oh, dude, Konosuba's great. Like, it's just fun, and it kind of, it didn't revitalize it for sure, but it's the only slice of life that I'm ever really like, no, I want to watch it. Hell, I basically watched it twice in a row within like a few months because it was that good, honestly. I am still shocked at how...
Otherwise, other quick picks, there's a second season of Ancient Mage's Bride. It's been a long time, been a couple of years.
Second season? I'm going to say I thought it'd at least be on the third season by now.
Yeah, but no, it's been a while. They took some time. I think they may have switched to... I'm pretty sure Cloverworks did season 1 of Ancient Mage's Bride. Let me look that up.
Is there another season of Shikimori's? Oh, wait, no, I'm looking at the 2022 show listing. 2023. Yeah, I'm getting
first anime.
I'm getting it up myself. But you know, we haven't really talked about it.
No, sorry, Wit did the first season.
Of what?
Of Ancient Mage's Bride. That's why it's so fucking good. And now Studio Kafka's doing it.
How
they're
are
a pretty young studio,
Kafka?
but they should be fine.
I know people are excited for Marshall, and I have never had an interest in Marshall.
I've
personally.
never been interested.
I know people who like it. I know people who like it, but to me, Marshall has always just looked like, well, it's taken from the One Punch Man formula, essentially.
Yes. Otherwise, then the other big
Harry
one before
Potter.
we move on. Like, I want to have more detailed talk next week, but Ranking of Kings.
I will check out Marshall. I will check out
Ranking
Marshall.
Ranking of Kings is getting an OVA series.
Yes, it is, and Wit's doing it.
I can't believe it.
Wit's doing it too, which is good to know because, like,
they're sticking with it.
Ranking of Kings is their baby at this point. Like, it is their new son. Attack on Titan.
I hope it is because like Wit makes a lot of good anime, and then they pass it off. Vinland Saga, Ancient Mage's Bride. It's nice to know that Mappa isn't doing Ranking of Kings. You know, it's good. It all is right with the world.
Well, Mappa didn't like fucking swoop down like Kamek in Yoshi's Island and steal Ranking Kings from Wit.
Right.
I completely fucking agree.
But you know what? If there is something worth, like I said, we'll hold off on this detailed
At the mention of Yoshi's story, by the way, or whatever, or Yoshi's Island. Did you know when I was a kid and I was playing Yoshi's Island like in the dark of night, like with my Game Boy Advance SP, that bit where Kamek steals the baby, that shit fucked me up when I was a kid. I genuinely thought that setup was terrifying. Even with the mobile like baby music playing, I was like, oh no!
Yeah, it's one of my all-time. Yoshi's Island is one of my all-time favorite video games.
We should
I'm not a
stream
video
it.
game guy, but that's probably one of, if not my favorite video game. Like that's the first game I think I 100%ed.
Let's fucking stream it sometime then.
Oh, we should. We really should.
We should, man. Okay.
But I think this is interesting. If we do have a discussion this week, because we brought up very, very mildly at the end of last week, and it's a fact of, because you said a lot of these shonen are ending very early. The ones that do succeed and avoid the axe, they still don't last long.
No, like
as the years
Stone.
go, give it another couple of years, that shonen jump to anime pipeline is going to get a little bit gunked up, because like I said, they're making Mashal, Undead Unluck very soon, Kaiju No. 8, Jump Plus manga will still
People are really worried. People are worried about Kaiju No. 8. Have you seen the character art for it?
It looks a little rough, but that's just character art.
It doesn't look like the character though. It doesn't look like the main character, like his human form. It really does not look like him.
Yeah, something's a little off, but I'm willing to give it more time because it's still very early in development.
I feel like it might have been an executive decision on the anime side to kind of make the main character look younger, because he is supposed to be like a burnt out 30-year-old or something.
Yeah, more marketable. I could see. I mean, that we were on the Discord chat, we were talking about Radiant, how that is such a relatively darker series. It's a French manga.
I've never been able to get into it. I know you really like it.
I love it. Our Joy Boy audience on Discord loves it.
I was really excited for Radiant because I like stuff like Wakfu.
Yeah, and it's like that. But the way it was adapted into anime, they babified it. They're like, this might not be as accessible in Japan. We better make it just a young little children's anime instead.
Has the anime
and it's very
axed?
Disappointing.
Has the anime been like officially axed? Like, is it cancelled or? Like,
I haven't heard shit. I think it got like 3 short seasons, and then they just like it kind of fizzled.
Yeah,
because again, they didn't adapt it right. If they done it the right way, it would basically, if they took the risk of adapting it faithfully.
Apparently, the story has ended. Oh wait, no, the manga is still ongoing.
Yeah,
the anime stopped in 2020 with 42 episodes.
Yeah, so probably like they were gonna try to do it, but then like COVID productions probably fucked it over. Like, wasn't worth coming back to. But the fact that they babified it, there was no one really fucking passionate to keep it going. And that's just how it is. But like I said, going back on topic, it's like with Kaiju No. 8, like it's the risks and them trying to do something to make it more marketable, and that might hurt in the long run. Would be very unfortunate. But again, like this jump to anime pipeline, where like I said, Mashal's not that long. It's already ended or about to end. So like these, you're not gonna get your Black Clovers and your My Hero Academias anymore, because they don't last that long anymore. Like is it like I mean, Boruto's going on break. We don't know when we're getting Dragon Ball Super. Like that old classic ongoing anime, even when it was played seasonally, like My Hero Academia, that just does not exist anymore.
I'm just gonna say Boruto.
I think Jujutsu Kaisen is the last. I think Jujutsu Kaisen is the last of an era.
I think that Boruto, just anime-wise, just the Naruto franchise in terms of anime needed to fucking stop. Honestly, because they just had...
It needed to stop like years ago.
They really did. Like, honestly, when Boruto first... Do you remember when Boruto came out, anime-wise?
Yeah.
It was like 2017.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like forever ago.
Yeah, it does.
It feels like My Hero Academia was just starting when Boruto was.
Exactly. It's insane. Like
it's crazy.
It already has
a generation
200
of kids have graduated.
It already has 292 episodes in the anime, and it's all fucking filler. It's ridiculous.
It's garbage.
Like, I get it. I believe the studio is Pierrot. I understand that Pierrot were probably like, no, Naruto is like our only big fucking, like, you know, kicker at this stage. Like, we have to keep it going as long as we can, but it, like, I know so many people who fucking hate Boruto. I think the other thing that they've got going is Kingdom, but I don't hear anyone talk about Kingdom except for the odd person who's like, oh, Kingdom was fucking amazing. It's like a young man's Berserk or something. I have no freaking clue. And plus, Pierrot kind of dropped the ball with stuff like Tokyo Ghoul, if you remember. Like, I have never known a fandom that was like as badly fucked as Tokyo Ghoul, except for maybe Promised Neverland.
They did a little bit of Korra and people got pissed at them. Like, Studio Pierrot, I feel really bad for them because they're not bad.
No, they're not bad. I know
it's
they
just
did like
they specialize in a very thankless part of anime production that people just generally do not care for. Businesses love them, and I'm sure that's all Pierrot fucking cares to impress. But in terms of an art form, in terms of an artful, loving audience, they're fucking despised.
It's
are they heading the new Black Clover movie?
Movies, anime films. Yeah, Black Clover, Sword of the Wizard King. Yeah, they are.
They're doing that movie for Netflix.
Yeah.
You know, Godspeed to them.
And apparently
because there's a new standard for anime movies, and I hope these other studios can catch up because Bones and UFO Table have really stepped it up.
And apparently they do the Otsumatsu stuff, which I've never been interested in Otsumatsu. I was surprised when Otsumatsu, like, kicked off as hard as it did. Do you remember that?
I do not.
Yeah, no, people fucking loved Otsumatsu. I think Naomi was a big fan of Otsumatsu at one point, actually.
Is that
I
the
remember
one with the brothers?
Yeah, the one where it's like
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes, that was like a big fresh reboot of a classic.
What is
series.
the word for like 5 siblings? I think it's like, because I think there's like 5 of them. It might be septuplets. Wait, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's the one about the septuplets, and they all just.
I know what you're talking about. Like they fucking.
It's basically just they've all been like
they
diced up
them.
into. They wokify them. What? I don't know. Obviously, I've never watched it.
No, just every time they like reboot a design, Schuler, the voice of a bridge zapper in our My Hero Abridged series, like he calls Super Broly woke Broly. He's not being serious, but it's just so funny.
What else is on the list though? I'm looking real quick. There's new season of Gundam freaking Witch from Mercury, which I know people.
I like how we're on the wrong side of history on this. Like everyone loves this fucking series, and I'm so mad. I'm so upset because I don't want to be that guy.
I mean, basically,
I would like to enjoy a Gundam that everyone's actually enjoying.
Well, you like Iron-Blooded Orphans, and a lot of people. Actually, no. I think Iron-Blooded Orphans is a bit divided.
Because most people don't like Iron-Blooded Orphans, but when people start listing their all-time favorite anime, as it tends to trend sometimes, you always see Iron-Blooded Orphans on. It's the only time you ever hear people talk about Iron-Blooded Orphans when the people are like, my personal all-time favorite anime series. It's Iron-Blooded Orphans. Yeah, because it was such a good fucking concept. It didn't end well, but no one can take that first season away from us.
But I know that Witch from Mercury ended on a pretty dark note where basically redhead girl like just murders a bunch of people for the whitehead girl, and she's like, come on, let's go, and like nothing's wrong, and it's like, what's wrong with you? You've just killed a bunch of people. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Let's just go. And everyone's like, oh my god, she's trying to do it. Like, I really didn't see the appeal. I gave it a few episodes too, and I was just like,
before we move
whatever.
on to our usual like manga talk, that which would also be interesting to mention is that Bones a couple of weeks ago announced that they were working on a new original anime, and people got really excited. Like, what is it going to be? It's called Metallic Rogue. And it completely looks like they just looked at Cyberpunk Edge Runners and went, yeah, we want a piece of that. I'm sending you an image right now, Val.
Oh, okay, thank you.
In their own words, it's a tech noir sci-fi. So it's synthetic humans fight for their survival. It seems like this looks like a post-apocalyptic version of Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Like, you can see you got your desert in the background.
Yeah.
It'll be worth the watch, you know? Because Bones is good. Bones is good. Let's see them kill it.
They are good. They haven't
we still
made...
a long time before we get any more intel, so like this is like a blink of the moment. We'll forget we even mentioned it about a year from now.
More than likely, yeah. Honestly,
it was worth mentioning because we like Bones.
I'm more excited because, like, I know it's been a while. I think we talked about it, but like Pluto finally got something like a while ago.
Pluto finally got a trailer and a fucking announcement for this year.
Yeah.
And it's probably be fucking if they didn't already say Netflix, is it gonna be Netflix?
I think so.
Cause that fucking blows, but you know,
It
Netflix. Netflix bought the fuck out of it. Yeah,
it's one of those things.
What else are you gonna do when your fucking production's failing? You sell to Netflix.
I would be.
They announced this shit in 2017, right?
No, it was 2019, I think.
God, it's been forever.
Well, I mean, you gotta remember
I want it so bad.
It's the post-COVID stuff. It just makes time feel like so much longer than it really is.
Oh my gosh, it says coming 2023, so I assume this fall.
Like, honestly, the worst thing that could have happened at, like, the start of a new fucking, like, decade is, like, a mass pandemic, essentially. It really is. It just makes you kind of go, oh, 2019, that was so fucking long ago. No, it fucking wasn't. I mean, it kind of is, but it kind of isn't. But, should we get onto the manga, though?
Because One Piece... The manga.
Okay.
I like how One Piece. We're getting so tepid on One Piece right now.
Okay, One Piece.
It's such a shame. We can only ride that post Wano high for so long.
I know. So we're gonna talk about One Piece first. I think actually, because I want to be honest.
Yeah, let's do it.
And first off, we basically get the explanation of how York's plan went about. She essentially took all of the Seraphims aside. Gave them the deets, was like, look, everything's going to shit here. Everyone's gonna die, and they want to kill Vegapunk, and that includes me or something. So I want you guys to do some shenanigans. You can just run amok, do whatever. S-Snake, I need you to freeze me, and then when no one's looking, I need you to unfreeze me so that I can do my big reveal.
We're just seeing this setup, like we need to see this setup. Okay, fucking.
And you know what?
One Piece is not fucking Attack on Titan, all right?
No,
it is not. We don't need this
kind
of detail, like, oh, how did it all go down? Like, it's not much of a head scratcher how she clearly faked.
Well, I mean, I kind of wanted this because this actually changes the context of things. I thought that this whole thing would have been something that the character planned a while ago, but now with the new context and new information, that this is a very sudden decision that York has made due to the situation they're in to save her ass right on the spot. This is way better because the whole time I've been sat here thinking, if any of these fucking Vegapunks have been thinking about betraying anyone for like a while, then they all know about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's so weird. So this, we can see, was a bit of improv.
Yeah, so I knew that he'd do something to, like, you know, give us context as to why things were going on the way they would.
It's more
but
palatable
like,
than it was before.
It really is.
Reveal.
Just the fact that it's a sudden decision. That's all we needed. Everyone's boarding the ship to escape because the government's going to come and do O'Hara again, as we know. But on the horizon, we see who's shown up. Who the fuck is calling me?
Who's calling you? Let's out them right now.
My fucking friend Jack.
Jax?
Podcasting be done later.
Animator Jack.
Okay. No. Different Jack. Friend Jack.
Hey, he's like, you're talking about JoJo's now, right?
Rockstar Jack. My rockstar friend Jack. Anyway, on the horizon, can't believe they interrupted me just as, like, who shows up on Egghead Island or on the outskirts of Egghead Island, which I've been wanting, actually, but fucking Blackbeard. Holy fucking shit. So, already, I'm excited. Ivan, you've been so right all this time. This is all just fucking preamble for probably some amazing shit that is gonna go down, because this will be the first time.
I'm as tepid as you are right now. Something big is about to fucking happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking huge.
We're about to get a classic moment. I said we felt like we're on the verge of it, and that's the issue right now, is that we're getting so much teasing and foreplay. like my balls are full to fucking burst right now over One Piece. Like, stop. This is just getting painful and unfair now.
You're absolutely right.
It's getting unfair.
It really is. And then, suddenly, we cut back to Eustice Kid. Oh, I'm excited. What the fuck?
You thought we thought they were gonna just skip over this. We thought we were gonna get the aftermath of this.
It's almost like Horikoshi, how we joke, oh, Horikoshi, listen to us. In fact, funnily enough, I swear to God, he did, based on the events of the new My Hero Academia chapter. He heard you, Ivan. He heard you specifically. We cut to Eustice Kid.
He always hears me.
He's still on Elbaf. We haven't just immediately cut back to some sort of like, him just like, oh, that fucking red hair. I hate him.
Here's what I thought was going to go down. I thought we were to cut back to Shanks, who looks a little roughed up. And he's like, damn, that kid was tough. And maybe like Kid got a good shot at him, but Kid
is just fucking
sails
crucified
off
on a
day,
hill.
lick his wounds. And that's not what fucking happens.
No.
We see that again. We've been a little bit, like, suspicious of Shanks, and now we get a moment where Oda's really trying to get to endear us to him once again. The fact that Shanks...
His entire fleet is made of fucking jobbers.
If even that. Bunch of jokesters. Like, so Shanks reveals that he has, of all the emperors, I mean, maybe of most pirates even then, his one weakness is he has the lowest tier fleet out of everyone. He's got fucking nobodies on his fleet. Why? Because he's just a good guy who takes people along, apparently. To protect them, it seems.
He's got Puddle Pirates Captain Bowlfingers Garotny, Social Club Captain Dentures Fuga, and Princess of the Bourgeois Pirate Shivering Pururu.
Panicky Pupuru.
who all seem, on the surface, at least on the surface, all kind of pathetic looking in their own ways.
I bet they got some cool gimmicks, but yes,
probably.
They're kind of pathetic.
Yeah.
And so, but until we get those gimmicks, because I feel like the gimmicks will bring back the sinister nature that we've been feeling about Shanks. But for now, it seems like Oda wants us to believe that Shanks is a good guy again. And it's like, oh no, look, he has these jobbers, and he just has them just because, well, he can't let them go on their own. He has to protect them because he's daddy.
Yeah, and they all even admit this. They're even like, oh man, we're so fucking weak and shit. Oh, we love you, Shanks.
But we'll protect you. He's like, guys, don't. Like, you guys fucking suck. No, you can't fight my battles for me. And then fucking Kid pulls out the fucking scientific railgun here.
The damned punk. Which is...
the damned punk.
Yeah, honestly, I actually... It's impossible. I know it's silly, but I almost forgot that he could fucking do that because
everyone forgets what Kid can do.
Yeah, it's like, I've just been like, oh, well, everyone's just been like, oh, what's Kid gonna do? He's not gonna do jack shit.
And now he'll be forgotten because he fires the fucking gun.
Well, he doesn't. He doesn't even. He doesn't.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Shanks predicts it.
Yeah, we get all these like nice kind of black and white shots. And actually, I really like this Future Vision style. I don't know. It looks like there was something wrong with the scans or something, but there's this like blurry kind of texture to everything. And there's this one shot I like where it's some guy's head just like bobbing or something. And it looks quite grim the way that they do it, but it still looks really fucking cool. Actually, I don't know. I can't tell if it was like a printing error on those pages. Probably not, because everything else looks crisp as fuck.
But anyways, like Shanks beats the shit out of Kid, and then the giants from Little Garden fucking
just
slice
basically
his
say
shit down the fucking middle.
They just say, you point a fucking gun at our country, get fucked. We're not showing you any mercy. As they should.
What Eustace Kid did. He was about
to obliterate the entire fleet. Like Shanks literally sees every ship get taken the fuck out in his mind.
I like how Oda did this. It's like, hey Kid, Kid stands like, yes, your guy is powerful. It's just Shanks is just stronger.
Yeah.
So we're gonna show you what Kid could do.
Kid does not have stands. I don't know anyone who's a stan of Eustice Kid.
I hear a lot of fucking bickering in the discourse.
I have seen nothing but people be like, oh, well, kid is gonna die and no one gives a shit.
Well, because we listen to smart people, because even I agree that kid was gonna fucking die.
Exactly.
But Oda was still trying to be kind. Because again, as we said last week, the thing that's wrong about One Piece fans is that they love their series too much.
At the same time,
there are kid stans, and they would be upset if they weren't given this charity by Oda by saying, yes, this is what could have happened if we didn't have OP Future Vision, but we have it, and Kid has to go.
It is a smart move to basically say, yes, this character is a viable threat, but the guy that they're up against is just so much more, and that's what could have happened. It's good. Yeah. Precisely. So Shanks basically just absolutely wrecks not only Kid, but Killer and the whole crew because they like Kid. Are just like, hey, please, no.
They immediately fucking kneel and squeal.
I'm just level 1 goblin. I do not drop good items.
They kneel and squeal, and then they get fucking wrecked. So the giants split their ship down the middle, and the fucking narrator says, a man worth 3 billion was completely eradicated.
Utterly destroyed.
And I'm like, there we go. That's that great shit we were waiting for.
Like,
this is
that's the
so
other thing.
Sick.
And it reminds me, I can't believe I forgot this, but I realize, you probably already realized this, but I don't know, because I'm rewatching One Piece very slowly, but I realize, the Hakoku Sovereignty, I feel like it's giant or something. I don't know if it is the exact same move that Big Mom and Kaido used together. You remember? Because they have, like, the Ocean Sovereignty attack. It is literally the same thing that Dory and Broggy do.
It's very similar, but I feel like they did this first on Little Garden.
No, they did, exactly. They took out the giant goldfish.
So, yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. So it's like, is this just a move that, like,
Clear's
two
the thing that
people
giants do?
Maybe. And, like, because we don't know what Kaido is. Some people get confused, I feel.
Kaido's just an adult, because in One Piece, when you're an adult, you're just huge.
Yeah, and have tiny legs. But, like, I was talking to someone, and they were like, well, Kaido's an Oni, isn't he? I'm like, what? Oni isn't a race. That's just, like, what Kaido considers himself. He is a mythical creature, a beast of a man that fucking sits on his throne, off from society, doing whatever the fuck he wants. That's just how he, like, positions himself in society, because he doesn't consider himself a human. He is a human, really, but he doesn't consider himself human. He is a monster. That is what he, like, sets himself as. It's the same thing with Big Mom, you know, because we don't actually know what Big Mom is. Some people like, oh, she's half giant or whatever, and that might be the case. It's a weird thing, but it's one of the things that's great about One Piece. You know, you just got questions to ask, and that may never be answered, but, you know, we'll see how that goes. So, I'll say this. It's cool. This was cool. All the action, the effects and everything, like, you can tell Oda put, like, a lot of effort into it. It's really cool, but it's the usual thing where it's just, what does Shanks do? He just slashes things. He just slashes things and they go down. And I get it because, like, he's a swordsman. He doesn't have, like, a super interesting power, but it's a little bit, not disappointing, but I want more from Shanks. I really want to see more from Shanks because One Piece from Red.
Shanks is gonna be the whole fucking finale. So
probably it'll be cool. Man. I've been patient long enough. I've been with this since I was like 9 or something, Ivan. I don't know. Like a long ass time, God.
It's been a long time.
This was a decent chapter. It's like Ivan said, we've been feeling a bit tepid on One Piece, but this was good. It was a nice chapter.
The impending Blackbeard on the way to Egghead, and that fucking 6 shot on Kid, and let him have his due before he's gone forever. He won't be gone forever. He'll show up in the finale, in quite similar to he did to in Stampede.
He'll have 2 robot arms.
For the most part, that's the end of Kid's story.
Exactly, and you know what?
Good riddance.
Yeah, exactly. Good riddance.
I'm not a Kid stan.
No,
so
I'm not either.
Fuck him.
I don't hate Kid, but I'm just kind of like, yeah, whatever, Kid. Like, I once heard that apparently he was gonna be like postured as Luffy's rival or something because he is the most similar to Luffy, apparently. In many ways.
Obviously they got a 3-way rivalry going. Like, they're the fucking Bakugo and Todoroki to
Law, Kid, and Luffy, yeah. You're not
where
wrong,
we're like,
but
they are, but they're not really. Like Law is basically Todoroki, where it's like, I was set up to be a bad guy. And
as you know,
and
my
now
biggest...
I'm just a fucking derp. Which,
My
for
only
Todoroki's case, is
issue-
more interesting.
My only issue with
for
Law
Law,
is that
sucks.
Law is just wildly inconsistent. He goes from being
Yes.
like the
I mean,
most badass
everything about
person in
Law
the
is inconsistent.
He just goes from being the most badass person in the room with one of the most compelling stories and stuff like Dressrosa to then it's just, well, Law, why the fuck are you even here? You're not doing anything, to be honest. Just fuck off, please. Don't be here if your amazing power
Don't be
is
here,
not...
be better.
But, good chapter. I'm feeling more positive about One Piece this week because it's been a tough couple weeks for One Piece in my
For you,
opinion.
yeah, I
For me,
understand.
certainly. But My Hero Academia, as I said before, Horikoshi is clearly fucking listening to Ivan because last time we discussed My Hero Academia about 2 weeks ago, I believe, because Horikoshi has been on a decent break. He took some time off, but what does he do? He works himself so fucking hard and gives us these really amazing looking manga this week. Like, I really liked how this all looked, especially in the action shots and the crowds and everything. There's a bit in the middle where a certain piece of poo came back. Ivan, how about you take the reins on this one?
How do I take the reins in this one? So, as I said 2 weeks ago, as I've complained and will continue, well, it's not much of a complaint because I understand, I've conceded to this, that the end of My Hero Academia is everyone getting in single file line and firing off their big final attack. And this week, it's Ashido's turn to fire her big final attack. And her big final attack is slime that just happens to be the perfect soul ability to fight Gigantomachia. And the poop monster, who was at the very first chapter.
Yeah. And even
Yay,
refers
golf clap.
And because they have to like confirm, we can't use our eyes. He has to be like, "Oh, that boy, that time." Why is it so fucking important?
That's so One Piece dialogue.
That's just no. That's just Japanese people, dude. It's like
that is Japanese because if you're a novel writer, that is like the word. That's the most. That is the number one word in novel writing that you're supposed to be cutting from your novel scripts. Because it's always overplayed, it's overused. Like if you ever got a young writer and you like basically if I'm ever editing for people's scripts, and like, hey, is there any dialogue I could cut? I go, put that in your Finder, and then figure out if that is useful or not, or if is it just there.
Did you know?
For no reason. For some reason in the English language, that is overused. It's empty. It's just an empty phoneme that we use to fluff up dialogue, and it doesn't need to be there.
In the game Guilty Gear,
there
for
is
the longest
uses for
time,
it, but you'd be surprised how much we overuse it for nothing.
For the longest time, there was a character in Guilty Gear. He was posed as the main antagonist of the franchise for a really, really long time until recently, like. I think it was back in like 2016 or something when one of the Xrd games came out where we actually got his name and he was purely referred to, Ivan, as that man.
Which is cool.
It would just be like, it's like he
if you're
literally
in on that
shows
writing
up.
joke, if you call your villain that man, like, hey, you get a bunch of novel writers like,
well, this is the same guy. This is coming from the same.
Word.
This is coming from the same franchise where its main protagonist or like flagship character is named Sol Bad Guy. It's just cool.
Yeah.
It's just cool as fuck. Like,
my favorite is in the Metal Gear, not Metal Gear. I'm sorry, Death Stranding.
Oh.
Or no, actually, you know what? It might be Metal Gear.
They're both
Coldman.
Kojima. Hot Coldman. I didn't play Death Stranding. I thought it looked kind of poopy. I know that.
We're not talking about Death Stranding. Let's get back to My Hero Academia.
Hot Coldman is a Metal Gear character.
Yeah, he was in the Peace Walker.
I didn't play. I played a little bit of Peace Walker.
Peace Walker.
You love really? I found Peace Walker really.
It's a game because it's just such a game.
I found Peace Walker really hard to get into purely because it was like I got to a boss and
it's like a prototype for Metal Gear Solid 5.
Kind of. I like the multiplayer aspect.
It's the beginning of that Mother Base system.
I feel like Peace Walker was too much of a game that felt like it needed to be multiplayer. Because I would play that, I would like go up against a tank or something, and it'd be like, you just needed to pack rocket launchers or something to fight this boss, like purely rocket launchers, and I only packed a single rocket launcher and just did not have the resources to destroy it or something, and I was like, yeah, fuck this game, I hate this. And then I played Snake Eater and just absolutely adored that, and that's like the only Metal Gear Solid game I've beaten all the way through.
Right.
Great game, fucking love it. But back to My Hero. So as you say, Ashido has basically like come up with like an acid that can, the perfect acid.
We see one of the assassins too, which is interesting. We get another assassin, this guy with the skull mask and the hose.
Yeah,
it's
and
been
the one
a while
who
since we've
killed
seen him.
Midnight.
So again, the corn maze is still the only thing fucking missing right now.
I don't think we're gonna. What happened to the traitors? Did the traitors get caught by the Invisible Girl? The ones who were gonna like expose the tunnels or something in UA?
So they got like, they kind of got like alpha dogged. Like basically everyone was being positive, and they're like, oh no, they're all being cool and positive. We gotta run away because they're not as vulnerable as we thought in spirit. Like it was like one of those kind of moments.
Okay, I see. What is an alpha dog?
And the presence of Shinketsu proves that the tunnels didn't get taken over because they own those tunnels.
What is the alpha? What is an alpha dog? What is getting alpha dogged? Is it just like being intimidated?
It's the fact that like they were like, oh man, we're gonna fucking kill these guys from the inside, and then everyone like kind of stuck up and was like, they weren't falling apart. Like they were kind of insiders. They were mostly just there to gather intel. And the fact of the matter is that no one was broken spirited. Like they thought this was gonna be an easy job, and they're like, oh, this kind of blows.
Okay.
So basically they kneeled and squealed too.
Okay. I really like this moment, by the way, where Lady Gigant comes out
with Rule.
With Rule-chan, who
they make a great team.
They do, but she
can give her giant. She can give Mount Lady giant fucking weapons.
It's super cool, but she looks like Diva.
It's a good
she
collab.
looks like Diva from Overwatch.
Who does?
Rule. She looks like Diva from Overwatch. I saw her in the
now I'm seeing it.
I saw that and I was like, who the fuck is that? Wait, Diva from Overwatch?
I know who she is. She's like Ant-Man, but cooler. But she can't make herself Ant-Man. But
and right now anything is cooler than the
She's like
MCU.
Ant-Man before Ant-Man became OP. Like, this is fucking sick.
Well, Ant-Man's always been
like,
OP.
not crazy fucking someone like your bullshit, but just like, what, like, just the, like, remember when just the standard appeal of making objects shrink and grow was enough for people?
Yeah, it was
because
like
we're such fucking gluttons. We need more. Like, why can't a giant wrench just be cool? Why can't that be enough for you?
It is cool. It's very cool.
Yeah, and again, in this moment in this series, it's fucking sick.
Honestly, Lady Gigant, I mention it so much, but she is a character who, though in the background most of the time and not really at the forefront of things, every time she appears, she honestly just gets cooler and
you said
cooler
Nagant,
to me.
but you meant to say Mountain Lady.
I did mean to say Mountain Lady, didn't I?
Again, we've said this, that Mountain Lady has gone through more of an arc than Deku
I called her
has.
Gigant. I told her Gigant, I think.
Yeah, that's what you did, which is, it could be a name. But Mountain Lady has gone through an arc. Like, I think she's developed.
I'm thinking of Gigante, the monster guy.
Gigantomachia. Yeah, that's what you confused. That's when you crossed your wires.
Yeah.
But like, she's gone through an arc. Like, if you told My Hero Academia from Mountain Lady's perspective, you would have a hell of a story.
You really would. It'd be cool.
You really, like, that could be its own spin-off.
Well, that's the beauty of My Hero Academia, where honestly, not every character stands out as hard as some of these.
Had I known that this is the arc she was gonna go through, I would have given this character a lot more justice in the Abridged series. I would have.
Yeah, honestly,
this is one of those things I did not foresee. Was this background character who just is rarely seen? Just we're given in small little treats and doses, which is a good thing. But the amount of development compared to the protagonist, almost on par. It's quite enjoyable. She's one of my favorites.
She's mine too.
She's really stepped the fuck up.
I always feel the need to talk about her when she comes up.
You do. Like, you've been her biggest proponent.
Yeah, because I remember, I remember one of the things I loved about My Hero Academia was the art initially, because like
This
nothing
is a character who we're
looks-
introduced to. She's shaking her fucking ass for the camera, and we roll our
and
fucking
she
eyes.
has, and it's really clearly shown, like, because they say through the narrator, oh, some people don't be a hero for good reason, and she has this
Yeah.
like shadowy, like dark face and everything. She's
and
got this
she was
horrible
like the
grin.
representation of everything that's wrong with Hero Society. Again,
Yeah.
that promise of the story, and I got so frustrated when we didn't get that story for like 200 fucking chapters.
Yeah, literally,
And then
like-
at the very end, we finally get that story, and there she is, developing through it. It's like, God,
I'm gonna
it's
send
always
you-
been about her. This has been Mount Hero Academia this entire time.
Like, look at this face. This face that I'm sending you right now from the
Yes.
first episode and in the manga
Yes.
is literally, like, burnt into my mind because of, like, you know, everything that it said. It's the immediate thing where it's like, hey, while this system seems cool and everything, it is not perfect by any means. There are people who do not really give a shit about being a hero. They just want money. They just want, like, they've got their own reasons. Like anyone does. Like any character does. Like any good character. Yeah, like any good character does. And now we have her on the front lines fighting with all her fucking strength, holding off the actual strongest character in the series.
I'm gonna use this picture you sent me as the thumbnail for YouTube.
Fucking, yeah, dude, use it. Fuck yeah. And, like, and it's just so fucking cool. My Hero Academia is one of those series, because some people really do try to put it down. They do. And we have been guilty of that at times. We have shat on this at times when we felt at our most frustrated with it. But it's one of those things where I think Horikoshi has succeeded with some characters in such a spectacular way that it is on that level of, like, One Piece, where it's like, I would love to see more of these characters expanded upon in, like, their own bits of media, snippets. It's just one of those things, and it's really fucking cool. But, moving on, Gigantomachia.
Yeah, but see, we were talking about Mount
go on.
Lady, but that's not actually who this chapter's really about.
No, it really
It's about
isn't.
Ashido. And this is one of the things I really respect about Horikoshi here. Because you know the shippers go fucking wild with her and Red Riot, Kirishima.
Is he?
And I like how their moment, because again, everyone's firing off their last shot. Everyone's trying to have their last moment. And Kirishima and Ashido's last moment is actually him confirming to her, not a romance, but the fact that you're my hero. Like, I looked up to you. I'm here today because you inspired me. That's the moment that they have. That's the unrequited emotion that they share is their admiration for each other. This is fucking great. This is
It's nice.
so wholesome and awesome. Despite my complaints about this repetitive, everyone fire your last shot, I'm glad some good shit's finally getting in here.
No,
This is really nice.
It's interpersonal character
There's
relationships
some really
that's
good
going on.
interpersonal shit here.
It's super nice. I think Horikoshi definitely Horikoshi, ever since he said, and we talk about this a lot, I'm going to end it next year around early next year
we
or
got
something.
another 10 years of My Hero Academia at this point.
And he's clearly realized and successfully condensed a lot of this stuff. Like, he's mixing people's big moments in, and it's good because it still works with the theme of that, hey, you might be a hero, but it's never a solo show. Because take the start of the series where, again, Mount Lady, Kamui Wood, who are now dating, by the way, in the background, which I think some people overlook, but it's just a stupid, weird thing.
It's just more about, hey, here's how tabloids are going in this universe. Yeah, okay. They exist. Now moving on.
Yeah. But, compared to the start of the series where it shows that there is clearly a sense of competitiveness with some heroes, while, the greats, they might not be I remember I really liked the bit where the guy who retired with the headband, the steel headband,
Death Arms. Yes.
Death Arms.
Yeah, that's
Death
the guy
Arms.
you thought would stick out, and they did dedicate a few panels to him. I think 2 weeks ago, where
Yeah.
they're like, this guy, you never thought he'd go, and then he fucking went. He even helped capture traitors, and afterwards, he just could not cut it. And the fact that Mount Lady was still there and he wasn't, that was a huge fucking deal.
It
He's
is.
one of the first competent heroes you're introduced to in this series.
He
And the fact
works
that
as a
he could
team.
not stick
He's
it
not
out.
out for glory or anything like that.
He was a pure one.
And it's genuinely sad when it's and
Yeah,
you
when
see
he
how
goes,
much
you're like,
how
damn.
And it's really, that's another cool thing. It's cool that, like, even the big heroes, like, recognize, because I think Endeavor's the one who, like, even talks about him, where it's like, yeah, I know Death Arms and shit like that. I know of him. He's, like, pretty fucking solid at what he does. Or at least one of them. It's in the discussion,
like, he's jobber
whether
tier,
in the warehouse.
but, like, he's the best.
Yeah, he's fucking sick.
He's the best at what he does. He jobs.
Yeah. It's... The manga right now of My Hero Academia, in its final chapters, is just doing a really great job of saying, no man is an island. We're all in this together. We have to fucking work together.
I said, I still got my gripes, but, like, the fact that My Hero Academia has always been popcorn entertainment, and like I said, this is popping. This final panel, where everyone's throwing their... Basically, we're getting a real-time look at, like, basically what we were seeing for the past couple chapters, where everyone was getting in a single-fire line and firing their last attack. We're now seeing that this all happened at the exact same time. Like, time is now congealing back into the present, and we're seeing this is all going off at once. That's what's happening right now. And that's
also
pretty cool.
Also, gotta call out this fucking armpit shot of fucking Mount Lady.
Oh, who got the armpit shot?
Ashido. I think, wait, it's not Ashido. Fucking Mind Control lad. Our boy who's like coming in clutch and saving the fucking day.
She Shinso got an armpit shot?
She like slips, she like drops to the ground to like catch this kid. It's really fucking good. And then, like you said, that final fucking panel where it's just showing everyone going at him. Makia is like throwing the mountainside.
Again, but basically what we saw 2 weeks ago, and then we saw the Fumikage, and we see Mount Lady coming through the fucking portal now. Like, now we're back in the present. Like, all those individual attacks, it's happening now.
Yeah,
right
and
here.
it's a fucking glorious shot. You've got fucking Dark Shadow.
The popcorn is popping.
It really is. You got Makia throwing the mountainside at him. Mount Lady's coming in with a giant wrench. You've got the wind guy. Someone down there. You can't fucking tell who everyone is. But
you can't see shit. When we get a higher clear scan, like when we get the officials, hopefully we can tell a little bit better. But yeah, like I said, I see Fumikage. I see Giganta Makia with Shinso in the squad. I see Mount Lady.
And then at the very end of it,
anyone else. You can't make anyone else out.
You can really clearly see All For One
struggling.
Oh,
I'm sorry. No, you can tell. Okay, so the guy underneath one of the Dons, that's Inasa, the wind guy.
Oh no, isn't he's like floating to like the
Shinketsu.
left underneath. He's floating to the left underneath Dark Shadow or Black Shadow.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That's Inasa. So we can think a few more people out.
You said under the Don. I don't know who.
Yeah, that's who we can't tell. That's who we can't tell.
I know. Where the fuck's Endeavor in? Is he? Oh yeah, he's being chased by Darby.
He's being chased. He's kneeling, squealing too right now for some reason. He's missing an arm. Because, you know, limbs in the absence of consequences.
True. It's fun. Yeah, I remember when My Hero Academia was like, you know, every scar means something in My Hero Academia. To, like,
I remember that too. They made such a big deal about scars. And
they did.
Fucking Mirko's a quadruple amputee right now, and no one gives a fuck.
No, they really... Well, he couldn't kill... I think...
It's been too normalized.
I genuinely think Mirko is a character that should have been killed, to be
Meanwhile,
honest.
fucking Mount Lady has, like, one little surgical scar over her fucking eyebrow, and that's treated like a big deal because of marriage in Japan. Like... the standard of scars in this series is through out of the fucking roof. I rewatched Two Heroes the other night, and watching Melissa throw a big deal because she got a fucking little boo-boo on her elbow was such a huge fucking... It was like the last straw for her father, because now her chances of getting married are fucking tarnished.
But, and in the very last...
series is whacked.
In the very last panel, we get some choppers in the distance. I don't know what that could be.
News team assemble.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's going to be
we
like,
gotta get the news team. They shouldn't be there.
True.
And I'm wondering if All For One's gonna kind of prey upon their need to save people. Like, oh no, I'm getting overwhelmed. I'm gonna take this fucking helicopter hostage. Now try some shit.
Yeah.
Now go off. See how well that works out for you.
I
heroes.
imagine the media is probably going to be like, we're willing to fucking throw down and die
Yeah,
Right,
the fucking
goddamn.
new Chief Chopper's gonna go with their final attack, where
Yeah.
they're
The final
This
attack
is
that no
completely off
journalist,
topic.
that no fucking modern journalist is willing to do, actually die for the sake of
modern
something
villain
good.
exposure to media getting canceled. So this is very off topic, but Steen and I saw this movie starring Tom Hanks called A Man Called Otto. It's the most high
heard of
production
that.
Hallmark film you will ever fucking see. I highly recommend it while watching it high.
That's the one where he's a grumpy old man. He's a grumpy old man being endeared by a Mexican family or something like that, right?
You've described it perfectly. But there is a scene where they're trying to scare away housing developers, like they're the main big bad villain of the series, and you just see like three
It's a
people with cell
series?
phones. It's not serious, but I'm saying that you see three people with cell phones pointing as if the phones like radiate some kind of energy that makes corporations weak. I don't know, but it's fucking hilarious
What the fuck?
how they try to cancel it and these guys fucking run away because oh no, they've got cell phones, they've got TikTok accounts. These are normal. These aren't influencers. These are just normal fucking people with TikTok accounts.
That sounds lame.
Yeah, exactly. It's lame as fuck. But watching them duck their heads and run away to their cars as if social media radiates this this energy that makes bad guys weak. I'm gonna laugh my ass off if they attempt this in this series. If these news people start pointing a camera and it makes all for 1 week. Oh no, they're seeing me at my low point. I can't handle the stress. He just folds like a fucking napkin now. Cause he's a teenager now, and now he's awkward. Oh no, you're gonna see my pimples.
Oh, that would be
He's insecure now. Like that should absolutely be a thing.
You know what? I would genuinely enjoy that direction. I like that idea.
It will never happen.
Probably
I told
not,
you how I
because,
feel like All For One would be better if they really leaned into the comedic nature of him being control. Otherwise, a serious troll just does not work. It's cringe.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was a joke, if they really treat it like a fucking joke, like One Piece would, it would work so well.
While we've got a little under 5 minutes left till we hit the hour, I don't know if you want to talk about it. So certain events, but great chapter by the way, great chapter. Both pretty damn good chapters this week. It might not be the triumphant. I'm gonna say it. I feel like that's why Chainsaw Man annoyed me a little bit last week, knowing that it was going on break for a while, and like I just wasn't satisfied with that chapter.
It was just taking a week off.
I'm pretty sure it said 12 days last time I saw it.
It came out last week. It's coming out next week. It took a week off, Al, as it does.
I could have sworn it said 12 days, so I thought it was going to be
coming
2
out on the
weeks or
28th.
something. Okay, fair enough. But, so certain events have happened within, like, the voiceover community. I didn't think we'd have to have this, like, conversation again so soon. But people, for the love of God, please do not get involved. Like, okay, actually, it's kind of different.
So you want to bring up Anthony Damasio? Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, well, we'll bring it up a little bit.
I don't want to be a tabloid. I really don't want to be a tabloid. But yes, I guess it does bear discussing because I'm not sure how you knew him. I didn't know him personally.
I know you did. You told me he wasn't.
Yeah, and we're not going to talk about this stuff.
We're not going to talk about this on a personal level or anything like that.
Yeah, but basically, right now, Anthony Damasio, someone who I've only worked with once. I've talked to the man 2 times. I worked with him 1 time. He has a cameo. He has a cameo in My Hero Academia Bridge. Go find him. Let's up our viewership engagement. Go find the episode that Anthony's in. Wow, that sure will be funny. I've only worked with him once. I've never worked with him again because sometimes when you work someone, you just can tell it just isn't going to work. And obviously, it didn't fucking work with Anthony. So, and now that this has come out, I go glad I sensed something was wrong. But yes, there was a lot of sexual allegations going on against Anthony, and they are definitely true. I can confirm this. You do not speak before the victims do. That's just a courtesy, and now the victims do. And when the victims talk, you fucking stand up for them. And so I fucking agree that he definitely did this shit. And he needs to fucking go away, because this is a very classic example of no accountability. It's not a cancel culture, it's an accountability culture. And Anthony has proven multiple fucking times that he does not want to be accountable for his fucking actions. So he needs to go. He is a danger. He's got to go. And that's what happened, because Something Witty, he used to work for Something Witty. So of all the abridged groups, they're the ones that had to put the public statement out. And they go, we thought, they basically, like, they used to talk to him, and they stopped talking. And the last time they spoke with him, he had claimed to be accountable. He said he was going to therapy. He was working on things. And from my perspective, too, we assumed this as well, because after the nightmare that was his departure from SWWE, which was one of the reasons why I stopped working with him, because I knew how bad that went. And I'm like, ooh, I don't want to be a part of this. It was under the assumption that he moved away, he hit the reset button on his life, got therapy, got help, things started working out for him. That's what we could have been assumed, but now we know that is a lie. And right now, I have heard no updates from Crunchyroll, because he does a lot for Crunchyroll. And we have heard absolutely nothing. So I think they are really working on their... there's no way they can work with him after this. Because look what they did to Vic Mignogna. Just for being creepy. They dumped his ass. What Anthony has done here is full fucking proof. We have fucking receipts for here. For multiple people. This is really bad. Sorry, by the way. We might need to censor that word. What's the timestamp? I'm sorry if I triggered anyone. I'm really sorry if we triggered anyone in the audience.
Yeah.
But you need to know what a fucking landmine the anime recording industry has always been, and it currently still is.
Entertainment in general is a very risky business with, like... I will say this, because I mentioned this to you before.
We talked about this in private, and this is called the race to the bottom.
Yeah.
Anime preys upon a very specific actor. Anime is an incubation chamber for very young talent. And it's usually with that idea that young talent comes to anime, develops, and then moves on. That's the reason why anime is so cheap, but in terms of what they pay their actors. But the promise is now corporations really take advantage of this to a negative degree, where it's not about development anymore. It's about race to the bottom, cheap actors. You're not just getting young talent. You're getting talent that clearly cannot work anywhere else. It's just a matter of not if, when they get found out that this is a terrible person who has nowhere else to fucking go, and they're gonna take the cheapest rate and the easiest jobs and do a lot of them. And then when their time comes when they have to go, they just go and they get shaved off by Crunchyroll. I do not like this precedent that's being set. This feels like it feels like this is the machine being run right now, and I really don't.
It's kind of we actually have I feel like I want to go a bit long with this episode, to be honest, only because I know you want it to be a short one. I know
because
we can't, sadly.
Really should not be talking, because this is a very development situation.
You're right.
This situation is still developing. Like I said, as of Friday, March 24th, Crunchyroll has not said nothing about Anthony. No. And they really gotta, because he's been in a lot of things. He's associated with a lot of directors. Those directors need to fucking say something if they haven't yet. I know Kyle Phillips has spoken up. And has washed his hands.
I want to say
because Kyle's
something
a good one.
On the subject, actually. So, people, here is the thing about life. You can make mistakes. You can make up for those mistakes. You don't have to be burnt down for every bad thing that
Anthony
you do.
Has already
let me finish.
He already fired this one off.
Yeah, but you can make mistakes. You can absolve yourself of those mistakes and move on to things. Here's the thing. When you fuck up as badly as this person consistently has...
Yeah, you only get so many second chances, folks.
You really
only
do.
Get so many.
The fact is,
again, accountability is important.
Personal responsibility for your actions, accountability, and most of all, communication is one of the most key fucking things that you can practice in. You can't go through life thinking that you are fucking perfect or like not to blame for anything. You gotta be a little bit hard on yourself sometimes and fucking like acknowledge that you can fuck up and you can affect other people's lives. Anyone can, no matter who you fucking are. okay? You can make mistakes, but you have to fucking own up to them.
You have to own. And the Anthony situation, this is a man who's been given a lot of second chances, and he has fucked up every time, and he has never done anything for it. He just walks away and finds the next place to crash and burn. As we are
seems
learning.
to be that way.
Because everyone is filing their receipts right now on Twitter, and we're seeing this, and it's so unfortunate. Just because, like I said, I know Anthony, I've worked with him before, but I know his crew, his surrounding audience more, and to know that I have been lied to, because they have confirmed to me that he was doing better. And now I know that this is a situation where a lot of people have lied and covered up. And again,
we don't know.
It's
like,
very demonstrative of an industry that they will cover up until they can't cover up anymore. And again, this is why we're like pre-pandemic. We had a lot of plans at JoyRide to move down to Dallas and start associating with Crunchyroll and them a lot more. And this is why we really don't do that anymore. Because we're getting consistently disappointed. We keep going through this cycle. And we're not the only ones. We know a lot of personal friends who have gone down to Dallas, have seen what goes down there, this couch culture that I'm not going to name who said that word, because that's another person that we used to work with personally and then disavowed, but they were correct, where it's getting very skeezy. There is a need of some... They need to get a big... They need to fumigate that office, is what I'm saying. Crunchyroll needs to really speak up very soon.
I mentioned
as of
it
March
to you.
24th, they have not said anything. That office is in need of fumigating right now. Because if like the fact that now that we know about Anthony, now there's a lot of other people now in my head. I have a list of people in my head now that are suspects.
Let's be honest, just in the last... Look, since 2019, really, there have been like numerous people who have been...
I don't want to be a tabloid.
No, I don't want to be either, but it's
I'm
one
not
of
going
those
to name
things.
these names, but I'm getting very upset.
Yeah, it's... The fact is, people, voiceover is like a very easily accessible industry where, honestly, maybe even just because you have a nice voice,
It's
sometimes
so
you can fucking get...
but it's so competitive.
It is, and
Again,
that's another thing. I hate the fact that people, a lot of the time...
He's so talented, and he was willing to take any rate in any fucking job, and that's the reason they kept... It didn't matter how much of a fucking skis he was. They would accept that.
Things need to change. There needs to be some kind of
like this right now. This situation's like
there should be a screening.
It
I guess
hits so close. So I think this is the first time where this shook a bridging up, because everyone in a bridging is like, "Oh fuck, I let this guy go. I should have fucking like everyone right now. This is what's going on in my head, and everyone in a bridging's head's going like, "Fuck, we should have burnt this guy before he got out the fucking gate. Like we should have stopped. We should have stomped this man out." Everyone is feeling very complicit and innocent and guilty right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if many people, when Anthony got in, saw more of a fucking door, to be honest. Because a lot of people do want to get into that industry.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of people... Anthony was a door for a lot of people into the industry. That's the problem. That's what I'm talking about, the complacency right now. A lot of people went through Anthony, worked with Anthony, because the extent to which Anthony was doing this shit, this was clearly a huge cover-up that involved a lot of people, because he was doing this shit brazenly, and everyone was covering his ass so that they could get it in at Crunchyroll and get some fucking roles, and it fucking worked. And he fucked up so many people in the process. That's the problem right now. This is getting fucking insane, and it's making me fucking pissed. I hate this. Oh, it is so upsetting, and I hate to end this show on such a fucking sour note.
It is. It sucks. But
let's recap. Let's go back to what's really fucking positive right now. Guys, the indie scene is doing fucking great right now.
It is.
Because the indies, I'm not saying that this shit doesn't happen there, but I'm saying that right now, as of right now, at this hour, if we're gonna live in the present right now, the indie scene is all sunshine and rainbows, and we're getting another episode of These Backwards Epcos, and we're getting the fucking premiere of Lackadaisy Cats this week All right, all is good in the indie scene.
I'm gonna say as well.
We're where we want to be right now, where we're not couch culturing, we're making what we love, and we're bringing the people we love along with us, and we're not doing these terrible things, and we're not, especially not enabling these terrible things.
I'm gonna say as well, people, like, honestly, independent scene might be the way to
Indie
go.
scene is thriving right now.
If you are creative and you are genuinely dedicated to something that you love, independent, like, shit, like Kickstarter and stuff is so accessible. If you are genuinely passionate and want to do something with an idea you have, it is probably the best way to go. Honestly, if you have the fucking stones to, and you want to, give it a fucking go. And, like, go out and fucking
right
make
now
something.
in the present, young voice actors who ask me fucking questions, I actually cannot recommend anime right now. I could not with my heart.
There was a pretty important, like, little bit written recently. I can't remember her name, but I know Freddie was talking about her and everything. Me and Freddie had a brief conversation about it.
Yes, Anthony recommended an article that was fucking great. Sorry, Freddie did, not Anthony. Freddie.
Yeah. It was a little article written by a voice actress who works remotely, talking about basically the hit that remote voice acting
I'm gonna look her up real quick.
has taken.
A shout out. She's great.
she really does. A very nice article.
Sarah Sakura.
Yeah. Thank you. So Sarah, how did you say that last name?
Sakura.
Sakura. Okay,
that's just my accent. She's in Genshin Impact. She does a lot of video games. She's around. She does a great job. She's a great resource for the industry. Like, honestly, you should follow her on Twitter. It's Sarah Sakura VO. She's very, very kind. This is one of the good ones, everyone.
It's a really this is a nice bit. This is a nice bit. She has been talking about, or made an article about the hit that remote voice acting has frankly taken.
There was this big boom during the pandemic, and we all thought, oh my god, here we go.
Yeah.
This is and the remote scene that
literally
minor
me,
boom,
literally me.
It was you guys like you and Cody. A lot of great people spawned from this boom.
We fucking stoned up. We like gathered our money. We worked fucking hard, and we invested in ourselves for a booth of some kind, a professional level booth
the right
for remote voice acting,
software, and everything.
Yeah, hardware,
and
everything.
You guys killed it.
Yeah, and a lot of people did a really good job, and great things.
A lot of my new favorite voice actors came from this small era.
I got to be in Tribe 9 and everything, and I got to do a lot of small bits in other anime that is to this day, I am unbelievably grateful for that opportunity. And then Crunchyroll, you kind of fucking like fucked a lot of people in that regard, and that is kind of what this article. In fact, can we link this article in the description, actually?
I will put a link in it in the comments of the,
in the comments.
In the YouTube version. I'll put in the video description as well.
It is a really nice little article about it because, frankly, the hit that like remote voice acting took for a lot of people like myself.
Did we ever mention on the show one of the biggest reasons why remote recording went away?
I don't think we did.
The fact that we're talking shit about the anime industry right now, as it deserves to be talked about. So, like, now, normally I
wouldn't say it's talking. I think it is pretty reasonable criticism.
We're admonishing it right now.
Yeah,
is what we're doing.
Like, this is all pretty reasonable.
We are wagging
criticism.
our finger and giving it the stern talking that it needs right now.
So
let's talk about briefly before we go. Again, this episode's going way too long.
Yeah,
this
a little
is the
bit
last
more
thing we can say. One of the reasons why. This is
supposedly.
Audience, gather around right now. This is a very hot tip amongst our connections in the VO scene and my connections at Crunchyroll. Want to know one of the reasons why remote recording isn't allowed anymore at Crunchyroll? And it's not for the reasons you think. It's not because in-person recording is very important. If for a little reason, yeah, it is kind of the reason like they wanted to open a new office and they have to justify the new studio space. One of the biggest reasons why is because voice actors, especially the more established ones, were using hotel rooms as their recording space. And they were using these hotel rooms as tax deductions. Basically, they were getting tax deductions to go on vacation and record their lines for anime. Or they were being efficient with their time, as is the realistic lifestyle of an anime recorder, and they were doing this while they're at conventions, taking those deductions. So effectively making money while you're making money.
And
because
having
because a lot of voice
inconsistent-
actors make more money on the convention circuit than they do actually
Absolutely.
recording for their characters.
Maybe
So the
one
fact
day
that they
I
were
will
get-
get there.
So getting paid to go to conventions, getting your hotel room comped, then doing your remote recording there at the hotel room and getting a tax deduction on it,
At
that's a hell
inconsistent-
of a grift. That's a hell of a grift, ladies and gentlemen, and I support it. All right? Make your corpos pay.
And in inconsistent spaces, which essentially meant, supposedly, that engineers were working like 3 times as hard trying to make sure that everything balanced out and sounded right, like, and consistent with each other.
Yes, and that's the other side of it, is the fact that, my God, studio engineers had their fucking work cut out for them in that era. But that being said, I would argue that the honest home recorder has a perfectly fine space.
I know, my space is pretty
a lot of these
dope.
fuckers. I mean, you built your own studio, and it's fucking great. I think it stands up to snuff with professional standards. And then you got our guys like Freddie and Mina and Anthony, who not Anthony Damasio, but Anthony Morales, a dear friend of ours who we work with, who's a great fucking talented voice actor, great resource for editing. He's awesome. These guys they buy fucking studio bricks houses. They
Insane.
buy these insane roller boxes that they take into their homes. And that I would argue are far better than the professional booths that I've seen at Crunchyroll and other studios in Dallas.
I would not recommend it for those starting out. They are incredibly
No.
expensive.
I should say this right now. Kids listening at home, do not buy studio bricks.
Do
you
not.
buy studio bricks when that is your fucking job and you're
When
going
you
to get
have
tax
a-
deduction. Your
when you
studio
have a-
bricks should be a tax deduction, not your entryway into the VO scene. No. You
No.
need to buy foam pads in a closet. That's what you need. Because that's just as good
As
if you
effective,
do it right.
Here's the thing: as effective as it may sound, it is not a viable strategy to try and buy your way into an industry.
Do not
with-
buy your way into this industry. You will get burned.
You will.
Do not do it.
No.
Nope. Develop the talent first. Do it because you love it.
Yeah, do it under your fucking bed. Get some blankets.
Because days like today, it's tough to love the industry today. It's very tough to love the industry today.
I will say this: I might not
But
be
we
anyone
will love it
of
again soon.
people.
when
I
the
may not
stars
be
heal.
a voice actor of like massive notoriety. I'm not a Michael Kovac, great guy and great guy by the way. But,
Good friend.
But yeah, good friend. He's a fucking cool guy, and I'm proud to work alongside him actually. But like I started out underneath a fucking bed, like with some pretty simple stuff. And although, like I said, I might not be like the most notable guy around, but like I've at least like put myself out there to a degree where I
I
am
jammed my
certain.
microphone into a crate full of blankets and just yell into it.
Precisely. But if you just fucking like, work with what you got and everything, guess what? You too can make a fairly good name for yourself and eventually just save up and like, do what I did, build something yourself. It's far more cost effective. Like, like the booth that I have,
Yeah.
maybe I maybe sunk a $1.50 into it,
But
like
you've
on all
made
the
that
resources.
money. You have
But
made that money
I have
for
made
voice
that money
acting.
back, Ivan. I have made that money
again
back.
because you got to the point where that studio design, that home studio that you built yourself, was a tax deduction. Because you reached that point. You didn't do that initially. You worked your way up to that.
Yeah, and I gotta say I'm extremely proud of like where I've fucking gotten and everything, and also
but we
you can see
we really need to
we
go.
really do need to
our,
stop
our
it. But
editors are getting pissed right now.
Look, this was an important talk though.
But
to be
yeah,
honest.
this was a much needed talk, and and the last thing I want to say is I talked about the race to the bottom. Guess what, guys? Yeah, it's a race to the bottom, but this is tortoise and the hare, and the tortoise is the one who wins and lasts in the end. Who is the tortoise in the anime industry? It's the kind people. It's the people who continue to be a resource. It's the people who continue to be kind and they do not take advantage of their position and they don't take advantage of others and they do not enable and make themselves complicit to other people's crimes to maintain themselves. Kind, good, hardworking people who always want to learn and teach will always last in this industry. And so that's what you aspire to. And guess what? These people do these things not because, oh, well, that's the right thing to do and that's how it lasts. They do that because they love voice acting. They do that for the love of voice acting. And that's why they last. And that's why we will last too.
Yeah.
And that's why we will see you guys again next week, everyone.
Mind the gap as you exit our podcast safely. Rebuild of JoyCast is hosted by Ivan Leroy and Valentine Stokes. Leroy's written and directed works can be found on the JoyRide Entertainment YouTube channel and the soon-to-be-released original web manga, Paramedic. Val's dulcet tones can be heard in many of your favorite anime and web series, such as Ruby, Death Battle, Tribe 9, Lackadaisy Cats, and more. This episode was edited by Stina Carey, with YouTube version edited by Cody Rock. Music provided by Lo-Fi Geek. Intro and outro narration by Stina Carey. Outro music composed by Michael Pejovich. Logo and visuals designed by Ivan Leroy. Rebuild of JoyCast is produced by JoyRide Entertainment and Rock Voice Productions LLC, and made possible thanks to Patreon donations from generous listeners like you. This month's highest-tiered Patreon producers are Mr. Host, Gooner Bear, Mary Bowtie, Hope D. Cruz, and Greg Hughes. If you would like your name shouted out at the end of each podcast, an invite to our private Discord to interact with fans, cast and crew, or early access to all of our content, be sure to check out JoyRide Entertainment's Patreon. Links provided in the description. Thank you for keeping JoyRide's engine burning.